Right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to 2 cups of tea and a packet of biscuits. I'm Tanya.
I'm Tracy.
And, well, our studio has fallen apart a little bit.
Yeah.
We had fairy lights in episode 1 and 2.
And now they're just
A pile.
We got a random rabbit that the dog left on the sofa.
That's replacing Bailey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of things are going wrong at the moment, but, you know, we're keeping cool.
It's been a day. It's only 10 to 1.
Jeez.
It's been a day.
It has. It really has.
But we're here to do our 3rd episode. And our last couple of episodes, we kind of covered a bit of getting to know us. Our briefs were different.
Yeah. Serious, not so serious.
Yeah. But hey ho, we move. And this episode, it's going to be one of those episodes. We are talking about why...
Okay, so basically, we are talking about why tea means wellness to us personally and for the business. And we're going to just chat about what's important to us, the principles of wellness that's important to the business as well. We'll play a game later on, and yeah.
As Trace took my bit because I was faffing. Yeah. And I'm getting comfortable as well. I'm even crossing my legs. I'm just like, sod this.
But I need to be a bit comfy too.
Yeah. You get comfy, Trace, while you're getting comfortable. So I think I might as well lead the next bit now because I messed up. There's going to be a beep on this. Yeah. I messed up the introduction and my head is not... I'm also going to say I've had a cold that your son lovingly gave me as a gift from our holiday, and now I'm bunged up and so I don't feel like myself today. So we'll see how we get on.
Yeah. And holiday meaning just a couple of days, a staycation.
Oh yeah, staycation.
Like a typical holiday where we come back...
True.
After, you know.
Yeah, a lovely, relaxing holiday. No. So, why does tea mean wellness to us? And why is it important to what we're trying to build? So, what does tea mean for you?
Tea means... Okay, this is a deep question for me. Okay. When I was growing up, my family would drink so much tea. Like tea in the morning, or coffee as well, but tea in the morning. And then my dad would always come home, his sister would say, oh, it's nice coming home to a good cup of tea. My dad would say, there's nothing like a good cup of tea. So it was a big thing for them. Mm-hmm. And I never drank tea or coffee till in my early 20s, I think.
Oh, really?
I just thought it was an old person's thing and a bit boring. You know, I wanted umbungo and...
In your 20s?
No, as a child.
As a child. It's hard to say.
Who knew I'd say umbungo today? We've said it 3 times now in our podcast.
I love it though.
As in my 20s when I was teaching, all the staff members, it was women, because that's the majority of teachers, right? And they would sit down in their spaces, have their cup of tea, and I was like, oh, what's this? Mm-hmm. I'll try a cup of tea. And yeah.
That's where you grew your love for it.
No, I didn't love it. I was like, oh, okay, it's just a drink. People drink it. I'll drink it socially, like how people smoke socially, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll drink tea socially to be part of the crowd.
Yeah.
But then as I grew older, had kids, more responsibilities, life gets harder, I've realised actually there is nothing like a good cup of tea to come home to sit, unwind, have a break away from your rough day. Mm-hmm. It's just comfort in a mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's wellness to me, the cup of tea.
Wow. It's not wellness for me. Oh, no, I think it is comfort. I kind of learnt it through work as well. I think... it's a free thing, isn't it? It's not free because you pay for tea bags and whatnot, but wherever you go, it's always like tea is the thing that's free. I actually noticed it in IKEA last night. Like if you had a family card, you could get tea for free, but you couldn't get a soft drink or water for free, which is weird because water should be free, but it's not. But yeah, I kind of like, I'm very similar to you. Like when I was younger, you know, whenever you go to an auntie or uncle's house, it's like, oh, do you want a cup of tea? And as a kid, you never had tea because you're like, that's a grown-up drink. Why do I want it? And I never understood the concept of the hot water and this tea bag in it. And actually, when I started working in my 20s, I used to like overload my tea with 3 or 4 sugars.
Oh, wow.
And I drank it for the sweetness. I was like, oh, yeah. And then one day, you know, like when you have full fat Coke, you get that furriness on your teeth. It was like that, drinking like loads of sugar in my tea. So then I tried the no sugar, and then ever since I've never had sugar in my tea, and I can't even have honey. And you know, people have it with green tea and stuff. So yeah, it is a very similar. I don't know. Does like obviously because I'm Sri Lankan and you're Indian, which I guess our listeners don't know.
Oh yeah,
we've never spoken about that. And it is something we want to kind of talk a little bit more about. But obviously in Sri Lanka, like that's something, tea is a big thing there because tea grows there. Yeah. Like a lot of the tea bags are based from there. So I guess that's kind of a little bit maybe in my genes from years and years ago. Was that something in the Indian culture that tea was a really big thing? Do they grow tea in India?
Yeah.
Being dumb.
No, they do. No, you're not being dumb. And I think it is. I think it's really big there. You've got chai, different sorts of chai. Famously, the masala chai, where you add the spices and stuff like that. So I think it's a really big deal there as well. And they pride themselves on making
good tea. Yeah. So my question is like, what's your favourite type of tea? Because there's so many teas out there, right? In the UK, you're most likely to have grown up with English breakfast, right? That was the common type of tea that you would drink. And I feel like it's the older I've gotten that I've explored more of the green tea. The jasmine tea came into my life when I went to Chinese restaurants. But I love it. Yeah. And then for me, like one of the things I do with a lot of my friends is afternoon teas. And so I trial different teas out there. And so my tea taste buds are changing every time. And I think now I'm at the point of like looking for teas that have good health benefits. Like, how does it make me feel? Does it relieve stress? Does it relieve anxiety? All those kind of things. And I don't think I have a favourite tea yet. I think I'm still, maybe it'd be our tea that we eventually introduce here. But, well, yes, it will be my favourite tea because I'll be selling it. And it'll be your favourite tea as well. But, yeah, what's your, I guess, 2 questions. What's your go-to tea and what's your favourite tea?
Ooh, go-to is English breakfast. Okay. Really, I like it strong, like brewed for a nice long time, bit of milk, not weak. Yeah, just punchy.
Yeah.
So that's my go-to. And my favourite?
Did you say?
Yeah.
That's difficult. It would be between a chamomile, like a really good chamomile though, with like, not the, you know, you get different grades of quality. The cheaper ones, they do taste less chamomile-y. Is that like chamomile-ish?
Yeah.
But when you do spend a little bit more, which I can't always do, but I'll treat myself and spend a bit more to buy a really good quality chamomile, and then it's just a hug and a mug, and it's so much just comfort. However, I love a masala chai. And I like to make it myself or just use pre-made tea bags, whatever, add extra cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, peppercorns and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes turmeric as well.
Oh, wow.
And that's a real nice tea to relax to. Like especially, you go and do a little ritual, put the milk on the hob, let it boil with all the spices. And it's that whole, you know, doing that to make this amazing cup of tea, and then you sit down with it and enjoy it. So, yeah, I think that would be my favourite.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I only got introduced to the masala chai by you.
Okay.
I've never had it outside of having it from you. I mean, I've made it once or twice since, but I think my first experience was with you.
Okay.
As one of my friends knows, I'm not a fan of like those kind of spices and stuff. I don't normally like the taste of cardamom and things. Okay. But actually, I feel I couldn't really taste it in the tea, so it just tasted like a little bit like a hug in a mug.
Yeah.
Hug in a mug, yeah. I'm going down that road again. Do you know, I was speaking to my friend, just a little insight into my life. We were going to IKEA at night yesterday, and we were talking a bit about the podcast, and I said that I don't know if you've ever watched How I Met Your Mother, the show. Or basically on the show, there's this thing where a group of friends, they tell things about each other that they're like, did you realise you do this? And then it's like they can't, it's like you can't unsee it. Yeah. And I was like, you did it to me with the whole, like, I get my words muddled. And she was like, yeah, you do. And I was like,
she's noticed as well.
She was like, I still don't know the correct one. She goes, you go raving alcoholic when it's a raging alcoholic. And she goes, you always say it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't. And she was like, there's so many things like that you do. And I was like, oh, thanks. Now I have a complex about how I talk on this podcast. Yay. Anyway, I think we should tell our listeners a little bit about why tea? Why are we making this podcast about, why is our podcast called 2 Cups of Tea and a Packet of Biscuits? And why did we decide that this is the first step of our business? Because I think you guys don't realise that there's actually many steps to actually where we want to be. The tea is the first, well, the podcast is the first. The tea is the second step, which, you know, we're hoping in the next few months is where we really start pulling out.
So do they know the ultimate goal? I think
briefly.
First episode. So just to recap, our ultimate goal is to one day have our own deli with the kind of foods and things that we love, absolutely love, and provide like really high quality things, because that's all we would want from a deli, and we'd want to offer that to whoever is our customer. So that's our ultimate goal. However, it's a huge goal. It needs a lot of work, a lot of money, and time, which at the moment we can't head straight into it. So we are trying other businesses as stepping stones towards that goal. And this is one of our stepping stones, which I actually really like. Didn't expect us to do a podcast.
No, neither did I.
Didn't expect for my voice to be
Or my face.
Or my face. I'd rather be invisible.
Yeah. This is, you know, like people do social media and podcasts and, you know, they like being in front of the camera. We absolutely hate it. This is such a chore.
It's very uncomfortable.
But, and I think that's part of the journey and we're happy to talk about it and share about it. But to run a business, the biggest thing is money. You have to have money to make money. And people aren't always as honest about it, I think. Like, we would love to just open a shop, but God, how much would that cost us? We both have households to run. I'm not even in a job at the minute. I got made redundant. I'm trying to find another job just so I have like my bills paid off. And you've got, you know, in the job you're in, it's not enough money to even like, you know, get us to certain places. And even though I have a redundancy and, you know, I got lucky, it's not a bad one. It doesn't mean I can use that money to go and open a shop because there's so many layers and levels to it, which is what we're going to explore through the podcast. And I think with the tea, we actually never even thought of the tea in the first place. Like, let's be like absolutely transparent here. It came from your husband. He saw something and was like, and in some ways I always call him like our business manager because he does advise us, and we're lucky that we have someone who is business savvy,
really savvy,
to advise us. Most of the time, the things he says goes over our heads. Like
he's got visions, and he can see things from outside the box, which we can't always see.
And he's also got that knowledge. I think in the job that he's in, and as senior as he is probably more open in business and like the terminology and things. So we are really learning along that way. And it is difficult. It is difficult to try and do a full-time job Like you have kids and a family. I don't have that right now. But it doesn't mean my life's not as busy, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the other thing we're trying to make people aware of is it is hard. It's hard to, sometimes even in our meetings, it's like if we've had a rough day, regardless of what has happened in that day, it takes commitment to jump on that call and then work through the agenda that we have. And our agendas are not small agendas. No. They are huge.
We meet, it's not just once a week, we meet 3 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're committed.
Yeah.
We're committed to make this work, and the tea business as suggested by my husband is something that we can definitely put into the deli. So whatever side hustles we're doing, all these stepping stones, it's all going to go towards the deli. So it's not some, random thing that we're choosing to do and you're following us and going on this journey with us. Actually, it's going to mean something in a grand scheme of things. Which I think is important for listeners to know, that it's not just some random thing to make money. No, it is to make money, but for a bigger goal, and this is all part of it. I think.
I think it's also worth the listeners knowing that this isn't our first business try. So even though we say we don't know a lot about this, we don't, but we have tried. We have sat in market stalls trying to sell. Honestly, when I think back on it now, I'm like, crap, did I try and sell tat that we made? It wasn't even tat that we bought, because we didn't have the money to buy things to sell. It was tat that we made at home.
And we were proud of it.
Yeah, and it was a good experience, because I think our first thing was like, our pricing was wrong. That was the first thing.
Location was wrong.
Yeah. The items were wrong.
Yep.
And then after that, we kind of went and did our own little things. Like I had an Etsy shop at one point. You had one at one point. You had an Amazon shop at one point. Those things were great, but they were never sustainable to where we wanted to be. And I think the thing that for both of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, but where we want to be is, 1, to be our own bosses, 2, to be financially stable. Because I think when you grow up in an Asian family, it is normally the mum who's at home. Like both our mums didn't
they weren't the breadwinners.
Yeah, the dads were the breadwinners. And, for me, it's always about, you have to get married, you have to have children. I'm not in those parts of my life due to lots of things that we, maybe one day we'll talk about. But I've, with my life experience, always thought I want to be my own, I want to show everyone I can do this. I don't need to go down the norm of what we should be doing. And I think that's what's great about the podcast and sharing our journey is there must be other people on the same journey who want to be in the same position. And tea is a huge market, right? That's actually something my dad said to me the other day. Oh, really? You really think you can sell tea? And I was like, what do you mean? Well, so many people sell tea. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think they've got what we've got. Yeah. And I think our main goal is, it's not just about the tea. It's not even just about the deli. It's actually creating a community where people can share their experiences, whether it be through teaching, whether it be through business, whether it be through food or tea. There's so much that we want people to learn and have a safe space and be able to come to our shop. And where did we go? We went to the pub with the open mic, and we were like, oh my God, we would love to have local singers there.
And you mentioned before local artists, local speakers, authors. Just build something that's eclectic, but everyone can connect to something, and that community is so important, especially in this day and age when people get so isolated or bogged down with just day-to-day life where they don't make those connections anymore with people.
So that's the space that we're ideally trying to create, and I hope that has given our listeners a little bit more of an insight to why we're doing tea, because it
is random, isn't it? And why, and then that's hence the name of our podcast, because we're focusing on the tea, but it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than the tea.
And there's so much life experiences that we eventually want to divulge into, and and also the way we've both grown up. We both were born into Asian families, like South Asian families, but we're actually both raised very westernized, very British. We both feel very disconnected in some ways to our heritage. So the shop is also about connecting to that and connecting to that community, because again, I'm sure we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
I have Asian friends who are very cultured, and someone could ask me something about Sri Lanka and I have no idea. And that makes me sad, because I'm like, well, I'm at an age where I kind of want to know a little bit more. And if I did have children, I'd want them to know that part of their life. And that was the other thing that we talked about when we were like thinking about a business. It was like, hey, how do we connect both the cultures? Because they are very similar, but also very different.
Because as we said in the past, we've had so many business ideas, like some really crazy, fun, wacky, random ones that is fun that we could have done, but we never pursued it. And which makes me think, okay, why are we pursuing this? And I think where you said about us building connections is just as important as we providing that community for other people. And I think we're so passionate about it, that's why we're going ahead with it. Because if we weren't passionate, we wouldn't be on YouTube with this face on YouTube and that voice on a podcast. I'd never put myself out there.
No.
But this is so important to us that we're willing to do that. So I hope that comes across as...
And we are opening ourselves up to actually for like people to hate us, right? Like I actually had this conversation with my friend yesterday. It was like I don't know what door it's going to open. I don't know if I want that door to open. And you know, we don't know how we're going to cope with the haters, because there is always going to be people who aren't going to be our supporters through whatever reason. So this is a huge deal for us. So yeah, that's the fun and games of being in business and trying to succeed. And we really want to succeed. And yeah, this is our story. So,
wow, it got very deep.
Got very deep for way longer than I wanted it to. So,
can we play a game?
Yeah, let's go on to the game. I'll let you introduce it.
Okay, so this is called Tea Mythbusters, and we've thought of, or had help from AI.
Don't tell us secrets.
Let's be honest here. So the game is, I will tell a statement to 10, and she will have to think, is it a myth or is it true? Because there's lots of information or misinformation about tea, and especially if we're building a brand that promotes that wellness and good health and stuff like that, we want to bust those myths.
Okay.
I couldn't be bothered to note down like you did.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on my laptop.
Do you want me to go first then while you're getting yours up?
Nice tea.
Okay.
I've got a speedy laptop.
Okay.
Will I get promoted by them? I need one of those pens that you can draw on because it's a touch screen. So
We'll take any freeness that we can get because we have no money.
Freeness. Sorry, I'm a teacher. That's not a real word.
It will be in the Oxford Dictionary by the time my deli opens. Okay, so here's where the truth is coming out. Your deli, not our deli. Yeah. Our deli.
Okay. Myth. No, I told you. Okay.
You told me.
Okay. I will give you a statement. Here's a statement. Only herbal teas are good for relaxation.
Am I meant to say if it's a myth or true? I feel like it's a myth.
So only herbal teas are good for relaxation.
Myth.
That's right, it is a myth, because the truth of it is green and black teas can also promote relaxation due to compounds like theanine, which may help reduce stress.
Okay, you've got the example, like the reasons why I haven't. My myths and truths.
Okay, we'll just go with it.
Okay.
All right. Is this a myth or truth? Tea has health benefits.
True.
Correct. I don't have the reason why, because Trace didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, is this myth or truth? tea hydrates you less than water.
That's a myth. No, wait. Read that again.
Wow. The panic set in.
Yeah.
Tea hydrates you less than water.
No, that's true. Water hydrates you more.
Water hydrates you more.
Yes.
So the truth is, tea can be just as hydrating as water, despite containing caffeine in certain times.
So that's not a myth or truth. That was like tricky. Because you said myth or truth. So if I'd said truth,
Tea hydrates you less than water. I'm confused.
it's a trick question in my eyes.
I need to sleep on this. Okay, your turn.
Tea can help you lose weight.
Nah, that's a myth.
That is a myth. That is a myth.
Because it told you so.
Yes. My good old friend ChatGPT told me.
Okay. I'll do one more.
Yeah.
And then you do one more. Yeah. Okay. The longer you steep your tea, the better it is.
I feel like that's true.
Do you want to phone? Are you asking me or telling me it's true? So I'll read it again. The longer you steep your tea, the better it is. Be confident.
Let's say true.
Okay, you're wrong. Steeping too long can make tea overly bitter. Each type of tea has an ideal steeping time to bring out its best flavour.
Can I say, I feel like your questions are like tricks because like...
Because you're getting it all wrong and you just...
Anyway, my last one. Okay. All tea contains caffeine.
Oh, is this a trick? All tea, yes, it's true.
False.
Oh.
It's a myth.
Oh.
You gotta think about it though. Green tea is just leaves.
yeah.
Where's the caffeine?
I thought it was like a tricky question because apparently I was asking you tricky questions, so I thought maybe I'll double bluff and not double bluff, but okay, I'm rambling.
On that note, I think that's the end of the game, and I don't know who won it. I don't think either of us won it, but we played it, and it was a light-hearted thing to play at the end.
It would be nice if the listeners message us somehow and let us know if they believed any or knew any of the facts about tea, because maybe they know something we don't know.
True. Which we have got an email address, Trace. Do you remember it? It's 2cupsoftea@gmail.com. No, 2cupsoftea podcast. Oh no, I can't check it. My phone's recording.
Okay, we'll tell you next episode. But we do have an Insta account. You can message us there. You can leave a comment on YouTube.
So you can follow us on 2 Cups of Tea podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. And we will have our YouTube channel, which it will have been released by then, but we're filming ahead of time because we're not at the stage of doing it weekly just yet. So those maybe it'll pop up on the screen. I'll let it pop up on the screen below. It's there.
It would be really weird if we don't do that. I was just like...
I might do that.
It is me. I'm going to edit it like that. On that note, let's wrap up because, we're running out of time. Thank you for listening or watching. We hope you are enjoying our episodes just as much as we're not enjoying making them. Click follow, link, whatever.
Like.
You know that it's true, yeah, about your words.
Piss off.
Oh my god, and you got a potty mouth. Oh, okay. On that note, we're going to sign off. We'll say thank you for listening, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it and tune in for the next one on 2 packets of tea. No, 2 cups of tea
And a packet of biscuits.